Now, I know what you may be thinking. VMX, you already did a review of Deadpool. Well, kinda. When I did that, I thought it would be funny and unique to do the review as Deadpool. Packet full of jokes and not take it seriously, and that worked out pretty well. But having recently just watched it again, I decided to do this for real. Last time, I gave a rundown on the basic plot, yelled a lot, and gave it a chimichanga out of 10. The basic thought that I was communicating to you guys was you need to see it, but I didn't really go into what worked and what didn't. Deadpool has a non-linear narrative starting out with the titular anti-hero ready to face off against his nemesis Ajax and assorted goons, but gives us a healthy dose of flashbacks to tell the origins. He was a mercenary who fell in love with a prostitute and was happy for a little while, but then got late-stage cancer and entered into a program where a government black ops program could give him superpowers and also cure his cancer, but the process was torturous and also left him heavily disfigured. He was also dealing with two X-Men, Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, trying to recruit him as he tries to get his revenge on Ajax, who was the one who disfigured him, and force him to fix his face so that he could be with Vanessa again. Deadpool is witty, acerbic, fast-paced, and generally smart, and overall a pleasure to watch. The performances are pretty much great all around, though of course the standout is Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, who leans heavily on the fourth wall, but only after he demolishes it completely. My only real criticism would be the villain, Ajax, who is kinda dull by comparison. He really is just an accent and minor snark, but he has very little personality of his own. One thing I felt was wasted with him was, at least from the comics, his hatred of being called by his given name Francis, which Deadpool does constantly throughout the movie to annoy him, but he doesn't seem particularly annoyed. He really is pretty flat. Unlike many superhero movies that heavily define themselves by their villains, this one heavily defines itself by the hero himself, who is also kind of a villain at times, depending on who you ask. So Ajax being a flat character doesn't exactly detract from it at all. I give Deadpool a 9 out of 10, which, if you have entirely too much time on your hands, you might translate to the faux Mexican food chart to come up with the conclusion that the chimichanga is the penultimate delicacy. Makes one ponder what the equivalent of a 10 would be. Chalupas. It would be chalupas.